Hey, what's up everybody? This is George from PictureMonk.com and welcome to episode 53 of the PictureMonk podcast. And as you can tell, I finally got video going on the podcast if you're watching this on the YouTube channel. Finally got the video going. The camera that I said I sent off still is not back yet. According to the delivery stuff, it's supposed to be back Tuesday. So this is my Canon 6D recording this, and also I'm joined by a very, very special guest. He's a man of many words, and that is my good buddy Patch right here. You can see him on the video. My little dog here. He's just going to accompany me on the podcast this week because I'm recording it in a little bit different way. I've been doing it at my desk for a while, and I thought it'd just be kind of fun to just sit on the couch and just kind of chat. And so it's Sunday night. I'm a day late and probably $1 short recording this. So I'm in my sweats. I'm in my lounge shirt. So it's just going to be kind of a relaxed podcast. So, let's go ahead and get into, today's, topic here. And, if you listened to last week's podcast, you know that this week is going to be, weird ways to improve your photography part 2. Because the last podcast was kind of a big hit. It's got probably the most downloads, of all the podcasts. So I thought I'd give that another shot. But first of all, let me start off by saying that I want to go on a little bit on a personal note. I normally don't do this kind of stuff, but this is something that really means a lot to me. So, as you guys may have known if you listened to my podcast for a while, over the summer my son was born, and he was born premature, about 3 months premature, and so he's a premature baby. And he fought for 3 months in the hospital, and now that he's out and he's pretty healthy and happy, it's our turn to fight on his behalf. And so me and my wife are participating in the March of Dimes walk that they have, and we're trying to do a little bit of fundraising. So if you would like to donate to our fundraising page, it would really mean a lot to both her, I, and our son. And if you want to do that, you can go to PictureMonk.com / can't even say that, PictureMonk.com / March of Dimes, and that will take you to our donation page, and you can read about him there, and also watch a little video that was put together and donate. There's not a real big cap on the donation, so anything would be appreciated, and it'd really mean a lot to us. If you don't donate, no big deal, we're still friends, but it would certainly mean a lot. So thank you very much for that if you do. So let's go ahead and get into the quote-unquote news article for this week. And it comes from Petapixel, and so I'm going to go ahead and fire that article up there because it's a really good article, and it has to do with a guy, I think his name is Fernando, or I can't remember his name. It's not pulling up here. My internet's kind of slow today. But basically what he does is he creates many models of just cool scenes, like, using action figures, like kids action figures, and setting them up in a certain way in a studio and lighting them in these really cool ways, using smoke. And when I say using smoke, he's basically smoking, and he's blowing the smoke into the scene. And he's making these really cool, I'm trying to find the guy's name right here. Felix. Started with that F. Oh, that's all I had. Felix, Hernandez. And he is a photographer, digital artist, and graphic designer based in Cancun, Mexico. And so, he puts together these really awesome, works of art, really. I mean, it's studio-based photography, but with fake models, with these cool little models. Like I'm looking at one that looks like it's out of Star Wars, and it's got a action figure character of Darth Maul, and I guess a young Luke or something like that. And he builds the scene up with sand, and all this kind of cool stuff. And then he takes all the photos that he took, takes them into Photoshop, and does a bunch of compositing to them. So he added like the moon in the background and stuff like that. So it's just really awesome stuff. And that just kind of goes to show you if you live in a crappy area, not saying Cancun is crappy by any means, but if you live in a crappy area and you don't think there's anything to take photos of, there's always something to photograph. And I just think this is kind of a cool thing. So I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes so you can go check these out. I really, really recommend you do that. And so you can go to PictureMonk.com/PMP053 to check out that link there. All right, so that's the quote unquote news, but it's really just a cool thing that I found. So let's go ahead and get into the listener question of the week. And this listener question of the week is from a Alice Mays from Toronto. And so I'm assuming it's a she. So Alice writes, I am getting ready to shoot my first wedding in a couple of weeks. And what is one thing you would recommend to get prepared? I've only done a couple weddings, and I just found that they weren't for me. I don't prefer that kind of style of shooting. So if I would do anything to get prepared, I would let Pinterest be your friend. Just go to Pinterest and search wedding photography, and just soak in everything that you can as far as posing, types of shoots, ways to gather up folks to be photographed. I would basically do a digital dump onto yourself and just find all of this cool stuff and print it out, that you can print it out, to carry with you. So if you do forget that you want to, you say there's a pose that you wanted to get the bride and groom in, you could, print it out and have it in your back pocket, pull it out and be like, oh, that's exactly how I need to pose them. Or, pop it on your phone and have it have an easy way to pull them up there, and you can do it that way. So I would definitely recommend that. I think no matter what you do, no matter what gear you have or anything like that, I think doing your research is more important than making sure you have the right lens for the right situation and all this kind of stuff. Obviously that helps, but yeah, you need to make sure you have all the knowledge of what you need to take photos of and different creative ways to try that. So thank you, Alice, for the question. Hope that answers your question, because that's basically something that I would, if I'm going into something different and something new that I haven't done before, I'm just going to consume as much as possible about that subject. So thanks, Alice, for the question. And so the main topic of this week is weird ways to improve your photography, part 2. And so the first one, this one's kind of a I think it's called, what it originally called as the egg challenge. So EGG challenge, egg challenge. And what basically what was done is I can't remember the photography school. I think it was a school, or it was an online course or something like that, where they challenged you to shoot an egg, just a regular plain old egg. Challenge you to shoot an egg, in the most creative way possible. And that's almost impossible because an egg is a super boring thing. But what it does is it makes you think about lighting, and it makes you think about composition, how to fill the frame with an egg, or how to pose, quote unquote, the egg. And basically that's what I'm saying to help improve your photography. You don't necessarily need an egg, but basically pick something around your house that you feel would be like a cool product shot or something like that. So one video that's coming out in the near future is a watch video, a watch product shot. And there's an app that I've mentioned a while back that's called Wish, and it's for the iPhone, and I think it's on Android as well. And you can basically get cheap stuff, super cheap stuff if you don't mind waiting, for them to ship it. But you can get basically just cheap stuff, and you can get it sent to you and use it. So I bought a watch, and it was a $2 watch. It took probably a month to get here, but it was a $2 watch with $1 shipping. And so I'm going to do a product shot taking a cheap watch and trying to make it look like a really high-end watch, and do it all for as little as possible. So find something in your house. I mean, I have a PlayStation 4 controller right here. So I could take this PlayStation 4 controller and do a product shot with that, and try to get a cool, maybe turn it on and have the blue light here, but then have a blue light in the background, and just, I don't know, just kind of a cool thing like that. So that's something I would recommend to get your mind, even if you don't want to do commercial photography, to get your mind, creatively flowing with different sorts of things that you could do. So that would obviously just roll into every other type of photography that you do. So the second way to improve your photography is to black out your LCD screen. So basically turn your old camera or your new camera into an old camera. And so what you would do is just black out your screen. Most of the cameras have where you can turn off the display. And so you would do that. And so every time you take a photo, you don't look at the back of the camera because it's not going to show. And so you just trust that your settings are right. And what you could even do is, if you have a camera, if you have a camera that has one of the articulating screens, it's really easy just to flip it around and shut it on where the screen is facing the camera, and you're good to go. If you can't find that mode on your camera, and you don't have the articulating screen, you can just tape a piece of paper, a black piece of paper up against your screen, so that even if you want to look down, it's not going to show anything. So I would definitely do that. And to help you understand light better and what light can do to help with your photography, or to what light impacts your photography, is download the Light Meter app for like the iPhone. And what you can do is what it does is it reads the light on your app and gives you the settings that you would need. And so you could hold your phone up just like this, hold your phone up, meter the light, and put those settings in your camera, and do it the way the old school people did with the light meter. And then when you get back home, don't do it on a real important shoot, but when you get back home, check and see if the settings were right and see how you can manipulate it a little bit. Let's see, that's the second one. And so the third tip is to 5 steps back, 10 steps forward. So as soon as you take a photo, when you're out, just messing around, take a photo and step 5 steps backwards, and then take the photo again, and see how the composition has changed, how your subject has changed in the composition. See what things you need to deal with as far as surroundings. And then after you do that, take 10 steps forward, because you don't want to take 5 steps forward or you're back where you were. So you take 10 steps forward, and you are, closer. You're going to fill the frame more with your shot. And so that would, make you think better. So if you're really close to your subject, even if it's like a person and you're basically right in their face, like right here, do you focus in on details of their face? Let's say it's a woman, maybe you focus in on her eye with the, makeup on her eye or whatever. I'm not big into that, but you do that kind of thing. You focus in on different things, so that makes you think differently about each scene that you come to. So that's just a real quick and easy, down and dirty way to do it. The fourth tip, I feel like I'm running by these really fast. The fourth tip is to not carry your DSLR whatsoever with you, but carry your phone, just any old phone, and turn the monochrome setting on your phone on. So what that does is it changes your display on your phone. It changes it to all grayscale. And so what that'll do is it makes you think of contrasting colors, or contrast in general, because all you can see is black and white. And so, turn your phone on and then start taking photos and stuff, and start taking photos of stuff around you, and you can see in black and white how tonal range is. So, if you're out in the bright sun, you can see that you got real harsh shadows coming in. You can definitely tell because it's all black and white. That's something I've done for a while, just to play around with, and it's really kind of fun to do, because your photos aren't taken in black and white. It's just showing you the photo in black and white. So, if you really do like the photo after you take the photo in black and white, and you still want to process it in color, you still got it. The same can be done with the camera. You can change on the monochrome setting on your camera on the picture style, and it'll take the JPEG will be in black and white, but the raw file will still be in color. So you still kind of have both. You can see how it looks in black and white, but still have the opportunity to bring the color back. And the last one, which is actually kind of a fun one, because it makes you choose all the photos that you want to take, and you can you really kind of time travel with this. So you can actually do this in combination with the blackout of your LCD screen. But this one is basically buying a 2 gigabyte SD card or a 512 megabyte SD card. And yes, they still sell those. I looked them up just to make sure. And so what that does is, if you take a 2 gigabyte card or a 512 card, you are almost getting, with the 512, if you shoot RAW, depending on the camera that you have, you're probably only going to get about 16 shots, or pushing 20 maybe. And with the 2 gig, you're probably getting about 30, 35, somewhere around there. And this all depends on your camera, because some cameras have larger RAW files. But that turns your camera into a film camera, basically. So you can only take this many shots. So instead of going out there spraying and praying and making sure, trying to find the cool shot and just go and hope you got one, you actually have to choose the photos that you take. And so, you can cheat the system and have 512 megabyte cards and be fine. But just for the experiment wise, you could do that. And if you black out your screen, you got a film camera on your hands, and it's kind of fun to play with that. So again, that just makes you choose your photos, and you can actually still find those cards on Amazon. So if you want to do that, go ahead. I think the smallest I have is a 2 gigabyte, and again, I can only get about 15, 16 photos on that. So that was it for that one. I hope you enjoyed those quick little tips. They weren't anything crazy, but still kind of fun. And so the last thing I'm going to talk about in this episode is the widget of the week. And the widget of the week is not necessarily a product, but it's a blog post. And this blog post is actually just a little self-promotion here, or not self-promotion, family promotion. This is a blog post that my dad actually wrote, and it's called "Bringing a Photo Back to Life." And from what I've heard from him, it's basically a friend's daughter took a photo of in London, where she's out in London, and she took a photo of, I guess, is it the Big Ben? The big bridge that everybody talks about, or the Big Ben's the light. No, not the lighthouse. Gosh, I'm an idiot. The clock tower. I don't know. The big freaking bridge that's out there. She took a photo of that, and she posted it on Facebook. Emily Gibson is her name. She posted it on Facebook, and he saw the photo, and he was like, "Why don't I just download that and fix it up a little bit?" Because it was a kind of a, it was probably taken with a cell phone, and so the exposure was off. The bridge was pretty dark. I'm looking at the photo right now. It was pretty dark, and you just couldn't make out anything. So he took the photo, downloaded it, even though it was probably on Facebook, so the compression was all jacked up. Brought it in the Lightroom, applied a couple presets to it, and came out with a better looking photo, and sent that to him. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is not because I want to shout out to my dad, even though I do. That's kind of fun. But that just shows you another way of marketing your skills, because if you're trying to start out with photography, and photography jobs are a little hard to come by, you could do stuff like this to think outside the box and say, hey, you have these cool photos, let me touch them up for you, buck a photo, I don't know, just something, just to touch them up for you, make them look really, really great, so that you can offer your skills. And then once you have them and you've made contact with them, then they know that they can come to you for other things, and it just starts a working relationship, and that's kind of what you want as a photographer. So I just thought that was really cool. You can go again, like, to the picture, the show notes, to read the post and see the photo in question. And again, that's at PictureMonk.com/PMP. PMP053. And yeah, just go check that out. Really cool photo. So that's it, guys. That's a quickie episode there. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I'm going to, since it's Sunday, I'm going to try to hurry up and get this posted so it's ready to go for you guys on Tuesday, but you don't care because it's already Tuesday when you're listening to this. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Again, if you would be so kind to just check out the March of Dimes stuff again, PictureMonk.com/March of Dimes, and you can see about that whole thing there, and it would really mean a lot. And just go to PictureMonk.com/PMP053 for everything talked about in this episode. And that's it. I'll let you guys go. This is Jordan from PictureMonk.com, and I'll see you guys next week.